there is one celebrity story that keeps coming back again and again. Every few months, a new headline claims Nicole Kidman finally exposed Keith Urban after a divorce. But there is one huge problem with that story. Nicole and Keith have never divorced. So why do millions of people still click on these headlines? And what has Nicole actually said about the hardest moments in their marriage? The real story is far more emotional and in many ways, even more surprising than the rumors. For years, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have been seen as one of Hollywood's strongest couples. They smile together on red carpets. They support each other's careers. They often speak with kindness about one another in interviews. But behind those happy photos was a relationship that faced real fear, painful choices, and moments when everything could have fallen apart. Many online videos and articles use dramatic titles to suggest Nicole revealed terrible secrets about Keith after a divorce. The truth is very different. While Nicole has spoken openly about some of the hardest times in their marriage, those comments came during interviews over many years, not after breakup. According to interviews with respected outlets like People, CBS News, Vanity Fair, and the Sydney Morning Herald, Nicole has never hidden that their marriage was tested early on. She admitted there were moments filled with worry, uncertainty, and heartbreak. But instead of ending their relationship, those moments became the beginning of a much bigger story. That raises an important question. If you were in Nicole's place, would you have stayed and fought for the relationship, or walked away when things became difficult? At first, everything seemed almost perfect. Two global stars had found each other after painful chapters in their personal lives. Fans believed they had found their happy ending. But sometimes the biggest battles happen when nobody is watching. Only a few months after they married, something happened that changed everything. Keith Urban made a decision that could either save his life or cost in the future he had just started with Nicole. What happened next would test their love in a way neither of them expected. When Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban married in June 2006, many people thought they had finally found peace after years of personal heartbreak. Nicole had spoken openly about the pain of her earlier divorce from Tom Cruise. Keith, meanwhile, was one of country music's biggest stars, but he'd been fighting a private battle with alcohol and drug addiction for years. From the outside, their future looked bright. Inside, however, a serious struggle was about to begin. Just 4 months after their wedding, Keith entered the Betty Ford Center in California for treatment. In a public statement released in October 2006, he admitted that he needed help and said he deeply regretted the hurt he had caused the people he loved. It was a brave step, but it also meant that their new marriage faced an enormous test almost immediately. Nicole later spoke honestly about this difficult time in interviews with Vanity Fair and People. She did not try to make their story sound perfect. Instead, she explained that love sometimes means standing beside someone while they fight their hardest battle. She knew there were no promises that everything would work out. Recovery is never simple, and addiction affects not only the person struggling, but also everyone close to them. Many celebrity marriages have ended under far less pressure. That is why so many people expected Nicole and Keith to become another Hollywood breakup story. But something unexpected happened. Instead of turning away, Nicole chose to support her husband while he focused on getting better. Keith has repeatedly said in interviews that Nicole's love and encouragement helped change his life. Speaking with outlets such as Rolling Stone and CBS Sunday Morning, he has credited her with helping him find the strength to stay on the path of recovery. At the same time, he has made it clear that recovery was ultimately his own responsibility. Nicole could support him, but only Keith could make the decision to change. That balance is important because it is often lost in sensational headlines. Some stories make it sound as if Nicole saved Keith on her own. Others claim she later exposed him in anger. Neither version tells the full truth. The reality is more human. They faced a crisis together, but each had a different role in overcoming it. As the years passed, the media never stopped watching them. Every time they appeared apart at an event, rumors spread that their marriage was in trouble. Every missed red carpet became proof of a secret split. Gossip magazines published story after story, even when there was no evidence behind the claims. Nicole rarely answered those rumors directly. Instead, she focused on protecting her family. In several interviews, she explained that keeping parts of her private life away from the spotlight helped their marriage survive. She understood that constant attention could place enormous pressure on any relationship, especially one between two famous people. If you're enjoying stories that reveal what really happened behind the headlines, make sure to subscribe, because the next part uncovers how a few honest interviews from Nicole were transformed into shocking viral claims that spread across the internet. The biggest surprise was still waiting. Years later, a handful of real comments from Nicole will be taken out of context, creating one of the most misleading celebrity stories online. And once those rumors started, stopping them became almost impossible. By the time Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban had been married for several years, many people believed the hardest days were behind them. Keith continued his recovery. Nicole balanced a busy acting career with family life. Together, they welcomed two daughters, Sunday Rose in 2008 and Faith Margaret in 2010. From the outside, life looks stable, but Hollywood has a way of turning small moments into giant stories. Every time Nicole attended an event alone, rumors started. If Keith missed an award show because of a concert, gossip sites claimed they were living separate lives. If Nicole gave an emotional interview, some headlines suggested she was secretly talking about problems in her marriage. The truth was much less dramatic. In interviews with trusted outlets like People, Harper's Bazaar, and CBS News, Nicole often spoke about how much work a marriage takes. She never claimed that their relationship was perfect. Instead, she admitted that love requires trust, patience, and daily effort. One of her most talked about comments came when she said that protecting their marriage meant keeping some parts of it private. She explained that not every disagreement needed to become public. In a world where celebrities are expected to share everything, Nicole believes some moments should stay between a husband and wife. Ironically, that decision created even more curiosity. The less she shared, the more people guessed. Soon, YouTube videos, social media posts, and celebrity blogs began using dramatic titles. Some claimed Nicole had finally exposed Keith. Others suggested she had revealed shocking secrets after a divorce that never happened. But when people looked at the original interviews, the story changed completely. Nicole did speak honestly about Keith's addiction. She acknowledged that those early months of marriage were frightening. She admitted there were days filled with uncertainty. Yet none of those comments were attacks on Keith. Instead, they showed compassion for someone fighting a serious illness. Keith has been just as open. In multiple interviews, he has thanked Nicole for standing beside him during the hardest period of his life. He has often said that meeting her changed the direction of his future. At the same time, he has reminded fans that recovery is an ongoing journey. There is no magic moment when addiction simply disappears. That honesty may be the real reason their story continues to connect with people. Most of us will never walk a red carpet or win an Oscar or a Grammy, but almost everyone knows what it feels like to face a difficult season with someone they love. We know the fear of wondering if a relationship can survive. We know how hard it is to rebuild trust after life takes an unexpected turn. Perhaps that is why Nicole's words still matter today. They were never about exposing Keith. They were about showing that even strong relationships must survive painful tests before they grow stronger. But there was one more twist. Just when the rumors seemed ready to fade away, another wave of headlines appeared. This time, they focused on a series of interviews that many people misunderstood completely. What Nicole actually meant and why so many websites got the story wrong. Maybe the biggest surprise of all. This is where the story takes its biggest turn. If you search online today, you'll find countless videos and articles with bold titles claiming that Nicole Kidman finally exposed Keith Urban. Some even suggest she revealed hidden secrets after a painful breakup. But when you trace those stories back to their source, a very different picture appears. Most of the dramatic headlines are built around real interviews. The problem is that the interviews are often taken out of context. For example, Nicole has spoken about the fear she felt when Keith entered rehab in 2006. She has admitted that she did not know what would happen next. She has said their young marriage was tested in ways she never expected. Those are honest and powerful statements. But she was not exposing Keith. She was explaining what addiction can do to a family. According to interviews with People, Vanity Fair, CBS Sunday Morning, and other respected outlets, Nicole has consistently described Keith with love and respect. She has never claimed he was a bad husband or blamed him for everything that happened. Instead, She has praised the courage it took for him to seek treatment and rebuild his life. Keith has shared the same message from his side. He has openly acknowledged his past mistakes and accepted responsibility for them. In interviews over the years, he has said that entering rehab was one of the most important decisions he ever made. He has also said that Nicole's support gave him hope during one of the darkest periods of his life. That is a very different story from the one many viral headlines try to sell. The internet rewards shocking titles. A calm and honest interview rarely spreads as fast as a headline promising scandal. That is why old quotes are often recycled, shortened, or stripped of their original meaning. A sentence about fear becomes a story about betrayal. A discussion about recovery becomes a rumor about divorce. The facts simply do not support those claims. Nicole and Keith have continued to appear together at major events, celebrate family milestones, and speak warmly about each other in public. Like any long marriage, they have faced challenges. But there is no verified evidence that Nicole ever made the explosive accusations suggested by many clickbait stories. This reminds us of something important. Fame makes people feel as though they know celebrities personally. Yet we usually see only tiny pieces of their lives. Interviews last a few minutes. Headlines use only a few words. The rest is often filled in by guesswork. Most of us may never become famous, but almost everyone knows what it feels like to be judged by only one moment instead of the whole story. We all hope that people will understand us before making up their minds. Nicole and Keith's journey is a reminder that real life is usually more complicated and more hopeful than the rumors. And there is one final question left to answer. After 20 years together, how has this couple managed to survive in an industry where so many relationships fall apart? The answer may be the most inspiring part of their entire story. For nearly 2 decades, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have continued to do something many people once believed was impossible. They have stayed together through fame, busy careers, family responsibilities, and one of the toughest personal battles a marriage can face. That does not mean their life has been perfect. Both Nicole and Keith have said that marriage takes work. Long periods apart because of filming and concert tours can be difficult. Raising children while living in the public eye brings its own challenges. Yet they have repeatedly explained that communication, trust, and putting family first have helped them stay connected. Keith has often spoken about the gratitude he feels for Nicole. In interviews over the years, he has said that meeting her changed his life in ways he never expected. He has also shared that recovery is something he continues to take seriously, reminding people that addiction is not something a person simply leaves behind forever. It requires honesty, support, and commitment. Nicole has been just as clear about one thing. She believes love grows stronger when two people choose to face problems together instead of pretending they do not exist. That does not mean every relationship can or should survive every challenge. Every situation is different. But in their case, openness, treatment, and mutual support helped them build a stronger future. Looking back, it becomes clear why the internet keeps getting the story wrong. The real story is not about a dramatic divorce. It is not about Nicole exposing Keith. It is about two people who refuse to let one of the hardest moments in their lives define the rest of their future. That may not be as shocking as the headlines, but it is far more meaningful. When we compare the verified interviews, public statements, and reporting from trusted organizations like People, Vanity Fair, CBS News, Rolling Stone, and the Sydney Morning Herald, one pattern stands out. Nicole and Keith have consistently spoken about each other with respect. They have acknowledged painful chapters without turning them into public attacks. In today's world, where rumors can travel around the globe in minutes, their story is a reminder to look beyond sensational headlines and check the facts before believing them. The next time you see a title claiming that Nicole Kidman completely